Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
All right, welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. Thanks for that little jangle, Joe McKenzie. We love you, baby. Thank you for everyone at Patreon, all the subscribers. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Also, big shout out to Revolver. We're happy to be here. We're happy to be on the network. This episode is super fun. We got Tony in the house as usual. We got Aaron in the house as usual. But also we have a fellow comedian that I've been friends with for over a decade. We didn't get into it much, but I met him on Last Comic Standing in 2008, which was kind of a strange chapter in my life, but also the beginning of me having any money or the beginning of me having any television success. Went from living in a car in Seattle with no money in my bank account to being able to have my own apartment and being able to buy things and stuff and moving to Los Angeles. And he was one of the people I met during that transition on Last Comic Standing. Lots changed in his life. Also, when I met him at the time, he had a girlfriend and they were going to get married soon. And he was, he's just starting out in comedy also. And he was about to do the David Letterman show. And we kind of talk about that a little bit, but I just want to make it clear that I've known him that long and I love him to death. He's a very funny guy. We both share the honor of being a regular on The Tonight Show, and we're both happy, positive comedians, which most people hate. But they love our comedy. They just hate that kind of, idea about comedy. Either way, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode. We enjoyed making it. We hope you guys rate and review, and wherever you watch your podcast on iTunes or Podbean or wherever the heck you're at, if you're listening to right off the Revolver Network, give us a little thumbs up or a 5 stars or a little review saying you like it. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And if you want to watch this, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye and subscribe and you'll be able to see the podcast. That being said, love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Oh, it's Pete Lee, by the way. And we're in, baby.
All right.
Welcome to another episode of the Jeff Dye's Friendship in the house. Tony, as always.
Hello.
Tony, thanks for being here, brother.
Yep.
How's your week going? He's in a little bit of a mood
so
today.
unamused that you're even here.
No. We do this every time. It's like,
because
I have to be here.
But I didn't say that. I didn't even say that this time, you piece of trash.
I know.
I didn't even say that.
I just want to bring it back.
I was happy to see you today until now.
I like to feel important.
I think all these things are going on in the NBA and it's really riling you up. It's making you a little testy.
Actually, I don't care because we don't have the Sonics, so I don't care about anything NBA until we get the Sonics back.
Well, you've cared a lot today, so it's weird for you to pretend like you didn't.
No, it's just I'm observant. I'm seeing that it's happening. I'm like, all right, just more stuff for me.
Typical millennial. Like your phone, like, Boogie Cousins went to Golden State, and then jump cut to 2 hours later. I don't care. It doesn't even bother me. We don't have the Sonics.
I never claimed that bothered me.
You went crazy.
I said it's big news,
and I said there's a lot on your mind.
And I'm not lying that it's big news. But
unbelievable.
I don't care about it.
Tony, I love you. Please calm down.
You're the one screaming. Look at my audio peaked on the screen.
Right. Well, I'm happy you're here,
you're the
brother.
One screaming. I'm happy to be here.
This is the sports equivalent of somebody going, "Why are you crying?" I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah,
You're crying a little bit.
Don't hit yourself. Why are you hitting yourself?
That on the mic is Aaron Marsh.
Hey, I'm actually happy to be here.
Thanks, Aaron. Double birds for TR.
Well, guess what? No one else is happy you're here. So
Aaron's about
Oh,
to get his
whatever.
mic
Patreon
cut.
cares.
Shout out to the patrons. And that brings us to our guest, which I'm super excited. Today's Friendship Podcast guest, a guy I've known since 2008 on Last Comic Standing, a very funny comedian, a very nice guy, a very handsome guy, and I've learned this week a man of a lot of mysterious talents and gifts that I hope that we get into.
I love that.
Friend, and I'm also just a big fan of you. Pete Lee in the house.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
Thanks for being here, Pete Lee.
I'm a huge fan of yours. We're both known as pretty nice guys in comedy,
Yeah.
which means that we're gonna have felony charges at some point.
It's a small group.
Yeah, it really is.
There's not a lot of comics that are like, oh, they're the nice ones.
Yeah. It, like people, you know how many people have said to me that like, oh, you're a nice comedian. You can be clean, whatever. Like you're gonna be the next Cosby in terms of charges or something. Like, what do you have? What dirt? What skeletons do you have in your closet? What have you done?
I've heard that my whole career since I started comedy. Not necessarily about me, like first person or you first person, but just the idea of like, you know, and this would be a good subject to talk about, but like, oh, there has to be something wrong with you to do comedy. And it's like such a silly thing.
Yeah, the police tell me that all the time when they arrest me. They're like, "There's something wrong with you. There's something dark inside you."
What is the dark thing?
And I'm like, I just want to do comedy.
You're
I
like,
felt like I had to do felonies to get into comedy.
Yeah, it's funny the idea that a cop would be like, "There's something wrong with you." You're like, "Well, you have my file, so
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Look
the
it
one
up. Look it up.
arresting me for
You're the
that
one
thing I
writing it all
did over the
down.
elementary school. I don't
Yeah.
know why you're...
yeah, you just look it
It's
up."
Aaron.
Why did you make me do that?
Yeah, because, well, earlier your jokes at the mall today.
Yeah, but I didn't want to put that on the podcast.
Well, now it is, man. We got to be who we
Okay.
are.
He's a heel on the podcast, but not that much.
By the way, this is a sidebar to our talk right now. I've always wondered how you have such nice suits on the Tonight Show, and then when I pulled up to your house and I saw literally the logo for Bloomingdale's, I was like, "Oh, that's how he lives at a Bloomingdale's."
Super easy.
Yeah, that's how nice of
Super
a suit
easy.
you can have when you live at Bloomingdale's.
Just walk across the street.
Yeah, they're
You
like-
say, hey, give me another one. I'm
didn't
going
you
on that
return
show. Oh, yeah. So that's an interesting
Oh,
I actually I bought a whole suit and then I returned it like 2 days later when I came back from doing the Tonight Show the first time. And it wasn't a suit, it was like a suit coat and pants and stuff. And it was funny, it's like that I was like, the next time I do the Tonight Show, I almost want to be like, hey, this is the second time I've ever worn a suit. Last time was the first time. And I returned it the next day. So I'm calling my shop, Bloomingdale's. I dare you to reject this. If you see this, I dare you to tell me I can't bring it back tomorrow.
that's really funny. That I almost did that with the shoes because the shoes that I bought were like a little too narrow, and I had them shoe stretched, and then I was gonna try to bring them back, but you could see where they had been stretched. I was like, "That's a little too ballsy."
They're gonna know, yeah.
to know. But that's funny that you.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, man. You
Exactly.
should've-
That reminds me of that
Could've went for
Simpsons.
it.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
Simpsons
you should have
gags.
blamed like, oh, I bought these stretched out shoes.
When
I
Marge
don't-
is trying to return that really expensive purse, and she's like, "Hi, I'd like to return this purse unused." And then Homer comes up and he's like, "I believe this stranger." It's like one of my favorite gags of all time. But wait, so you didn't try to return them?
I didn't try to return them. Yeah, I've kept all three suits, but
Really? Where do you wear them
but-
after that?
Well, I actually just officiated a wedding for the first time.
I saw that on
my
your
nephew,
Instagram.
My nephew got married, and so I wore one of the suits because all of his groomsmen had almost the same blue suit that I wore.
Oh.
And so I was like, "Oh, I get to wear this suit again."
That's great.
And it felt really neat to get to wear it. But now, I mean, this is like a $1,500 outfit that I've now worn twice, so it's $750 a wear,
Yeah.
and that's
Well, here's the thing. I have two things on that. One is that's why I think it's okay to be cheap about those kind of things, like in returning a suit. I'm obviously not a cheap guy in any other way of my life, there's certain ways that I am, but in most ways I don't think I am. But if I'm only gonna wear it once, like it's such a waste of money. I
Yeah.
don't go to weddings. I don't do any of this other stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a suit to wear once. I can't wear it next time I go on the Tonight Show. They'll be like, that's what he wore last time.
yeah. But do you have it tailored? Because once you have it
Yeah.
tailored, so you have it tailored and then you return it.
The first time.
That's amazing.
The second time it was tailored, and so I couldn't do that.
Oh,
Because the
Okay.
first time I just went and grabbed something off the rack. I was like, it'll work. I'm going to wear a t-shirt underneath. It's not a big deal.
I feel like you're so physically fit that you can get something that doesn't need to be tailored.
That's
Like
nice
for
of you to
me-
say, but I've got real long Bigfoot arms, you know, and like a thin waist with like long legs. So when I showed up, they're like, this is the suit you got for the first Tonight Show appearance? And I was like, I don't know. The other thing I was going to say about you officiating the wedding is that because you said already, like, we're the nice guys of comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw you officiating that wedding. And I was like, no, Pete's nicer than me.
Oh, that
I would never do that in a million years. In fact, people have asked me to, and I'm like, I'm not officiating your wedding. I
Jeff
don't
doesn't
go
even
to
attend
weddings.
them. Yeah.
I won't even go to a wedding.
Oh, you
I
just-
don't like
you
it.
don't go.
I won't go.
Weddings always make me feel uncomfortable because like I would say 9 weddings out of 10, and that's a lot of weddings to go.
I like
to,
the
but,
statistic
Yeah,
already.
9 weddings out of 10, I'm sitting there in the crowd going like, oh, they shouldn't be marrying each other. Like I'm having the most negative thoughts that you could possibly have, and like weddings just make me feel negative inside because I'm like he cheated on her a month ago.
Oh my
and
gosh,
what else you doing?
yeah.
And like I know all these details, and I have a friend that got married like 2 years ago, and then he like I just knew that his chick was the craziest, like the absolute batshit craziest. And
Right.
I took him to a sporting event, and I was like, "Don't marry her."
Oh my gosh, this is
and-
great.
That's great.
But you're trying to save him some dough and some heartbreak.
Yeah, and I had just gone through a divorce, and like I wish that somebody would have sat me down and gone, "Don't do it, dude. You don't
Yeah.
have to do it." Which actually,
But would you have listened?
Yeah. Do you think you would have listened?
well, my mom actually did that before my wedding. She like we were already in Pennsylvania at the wedding, and my mom was like, "Peter, you don't have to do this. Like even at this point, you don't have
Man.
to do it." And,
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Yeah. yeah, exactly. And I was like, Mom, I do have to do this, and I'm doing it, and it's gonna be great, and whatever. And it was great for 4 out of the 4.5 years.
Sure.
And then it wasn't. But yeah, like I mean, me being like the nice guy, like in my friend groups, whatever. I never thought that I'd be the guy that was like, I need to take you to a game and tell you not to do it. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I just felt it so strongly. Like
Did he listen?
no, he went through with it.
Yeah, I don't
and
think
then
anybody listens to that advice.
nobody does.
There's a comic I know, I think we all do, who got married and had a bit about why he didn't want to be married, but how he's going to marry this woman. And I saw at least 6 people, comics and audience members, take the person aside and go, listen, don't. I can tell already. Don't. Don't. And this person did it. I mean, they're like 2 years ago. I don't want to give too many clues. But like I'm still sitting and waiting for like that day where it's like, oh, they're breaking up for sure. There's no way this is gonna work.
Yeah, that God, now I want to know if it's the same person that we're talking about.
We'll just say the name and he'll edit it.
Oh, great. Tony will take care of it.
Yeah,
He'll
Tony,
He'll
that's-
do more work.
Oh, you know what? The help is getting real needy lately.
That's the problem. You call me the help.
That is offensive to be like, look at this crazy.
2 different people. We confirmed
Okay,
through
so-
your guys'
These are-
shenanigans.
These are 2 different people.
2 different people.
Same
both should have
story.
been married. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if the mic picked it up because I whispered it
couldn't hear
really
anything.
loud.
I couldn't
It was
hear
like,
anything.
Is it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
Is it Aaron Marsh?
Me and Jeff were screaming at each other, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this too is like I in the very same. You said 9 out of 10, so I guess we're similar on this. Is that I don't like the way I am at the wedding.
mhm.
So why am I there? Just being a negative person at the. It's like when I went to Coachella. There's just a bunch of young people being sweaty and not showered, doing drugs, listening to bands I don't know. But then I'm mad at them for it. It's like, no, Jeff, that's where young people go to do drugs and listen to music. Why am I being an old guy that's like, you're all doing drugs and you're young? I'm a worse person at weddings. I just feel lonely. I feel judgmental. I have to hear those awful speeches where they're like, they don't even want to be giving the speech, but they're like, Sandra is the nicest, most thoughtful, loving person, and I'm just so happy. And you're like, oh, kill me. This is a horrible speech.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, Sandra's bipolar. Doesn't anybody know that? She's got dyed hair and she's obsessed with unicorns. She's bipolar. Like, come on.
Yeah,
dude.
we're getting the
Like-
same speech for every person that gets married. It's,
Yeah.
I know
same
it's- I know it's
Bible
not coming
verses.
to my wedding.
I'm not going.
Ugh.
That was.
I don't go. I don't go to any. Ask anyone. If I've been to your wedding, I was like best man. Like that's the only time I even like considered it, and I still like was not a very happy person.
But that's even worse because then you're standing up in front of people and you have to have a poker face. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like vouching for them
Yeah.
despite presence.
I went to someone's wedding. I'll say his name. Tyler Barker is one of my best friends in the world. He's a sweetheart. I love him so much that I was like, I'll go to this dude's wedding because he could be marrying the worst person in the world. I don't care because I love him to death, and so I want to be there. And there's probably like 3 people that I'd be like, I've got to be at this wedding. I've known him my whole life, blah, blah, blah. But I get there, and all the other groomsmen are kind of like judging me because like we're like in church, you know, our whole lives, and now I'm like a comedian. I live in LA, and like I say fuck sometimes, you know. And
Can we
then
bleep that? Hey, listen.
Yeah, I did
My
not
God.
come to your home to hear that kind of language.
potty mouth podcast.
Jeff Dye's potty mouth.
Wow.
But that's the thing, and they all were just like treating me like, oh, we know Jeff. He's probably never gonna get married with his lifestyle, and they're just like, so I was like, great. Now even now, my friends from like
You
childhood. brother.
You mean an awesome life?
Yeah, it was very weird.
That's
the problem. You
I
have
had a
an
little
awesome
bit of
life.
that at this wedding. Like once everybody got a little sauced up, in the reception, then people came up and they're like, "It's pretty cool that you're not too big time to come
yeah.
back to Wisconsin." And I'm like, I come back all the time. I come back all the time and I travel all the time. Yeah, I bet you're probably in LA, just in your mansion. And I'm like, I have a 1-bedroom apartment. And I
true.
am never there. I'm there once a week. And
People from my hometown think once you get on TV, you just know all the other people on TV and you must have a zillion dollars. Like, that's not the case. Like my mom, I remember one time, I've told the story probably 1,000 times, but I don't know if I've ever told it here. I came back, I was going through a bad breakup. I thought it was like real bad. It wasn't, but like I was just kind of like kind of being mopey and feeling sorry for myself. And mom's like, well, Jennifer Aniston's single. And I was like, oh, sure. Yeah,
exactly.
I guess I'll just call Jennifer Aniston, you stupid idiot. Like, that's not. I said that to my mom.
Let me go onto the celebrity app where we have all their phone
Yeah, it
numbers
makes
and
no
just give her a
sense.
call.
Yeah, it was pre-riot. If it was today, your mom would be right. You just
She
gotta
actually-
swipe
yeah,
right
would
at
be
Jennifer Aniston
Yeah.
and just sit back and wait. You're like, oh, one swipe, I'm in.
Wait, so I wish that was. I don't think she's on there. She's going through divorce, so maybe she'll be on there soon.
That would be-
So when I met you in 2008, you were with a girl.
I was with the girl that I married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys were. I think you guys were kind of like in a real hot phase at that time, like newly.
Yeah. I mean, things were great. Like, I will say that because I legally can't say too much.
Why are you
about-
guys?
I don't know. He
Giggling.
He made a weird face. He did just an Aaron Marsh face. That's it.
All right.
Sorry,
No
I'm
context.
focused
We
on
don't
him.
need that. That's not good for the group chat.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, secrets don't make friends, guys.
Yeah, no,
the-
especially when he's talking about like
That's the
a
thing.
relationship,
No,
and you
the-
guys
the-
like.
No, the only thing I did was I went in for a drink of water and I put my face all the way away from the microphone. And Tony looked at me, so I shot him this look like, shut up.
Yeah, it's literally nothing.
It was
Weird as
only
fuck.
water. I'm
We're
so
spending
sorry.
too
They
much
always
time
wait for
talking about it.
vulnerable moments to make a little giggle or something. Sean Waltman's talking about his drug addiction, and then Aaron Marsh wants to whisper to Tony some joke.
No, he was talking to Clayton. Don't drag me into
Okay,
that.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
This is so funny. We're gonna need you two to have direct eye contact and focus for the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
We need you
That's
to be
right.
as tense as possible.
I'm also like babysitting Aaron Marsh. It's one of my favorite
That's
things.
funny. How long have you known these two, by the way? Like a long time, right?
Yeah, I feel like a long time. We grew up in the same town together. I know his family and stuff, and newly close friends. And then Aaron Marsh for the last 8 years. He was there when I did my first Tonight Show set.
Damn.
Yeah, I went with him. It was great.
Came with me.
Wow. Were
Yeah.
you all right? We have like 4 different conversations going on, but were you nervous just to go there and watch? Because I've gone there just to watch and support a friend, and I felt nervous just going in the building, not doing anything.
At first, I wasn't, but the
Mhm.
closer and closer I got to the show, yes. And at that point, like, I think we all know that Jimmy Fallon knocks on everyone's door and like does that. I didn't expect that. Like, I knew it was gonna happen because I heard other people say it. When he knocked on the door, I answered it, and at that moment, it was like, woof, oh, this is the Tonight Show. Jeff's about to do this huge thing. Jimmy Fallon, I've seen on TV forever, and at that point, I like clammed up.
Yeah, and Jimmy's the nicest guy.
Super
He's the
sweet.
best.
He's absolutely the friendliest. And then
Yeah,
But
and
that
they're very
almost-
similar personality wise, and like
Oh, that was a
just
fun
everything.
interaction.
Exactly.
Our
And so,
first
like,
interaction was really fun.
I know. So it was just like, oh, hey, you're Jeff. And he's just like, oh, you're Jimmy. And he's like, oh, we're kind of the same. We are kind of the same.
Well,
It
yeah,
was
I
mimicking.
was like, hey, and he's like, hey, and I was like, I'm so happy to be here. He's like, we're so happy to have you. And I was like, this is a really big day. And he's like, it's gonna be great. And then I was like, we're kind of the same person. He goes, yeah. He was like this really weird.
like you're doing a mirroring exercise
back
in
and
an
forth.
acting
Yeah.
class. Where
It was like
Oh, it was
him-
like a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was him and Mick Jagger.
It was
That
both of us
sketch.
just going, I want this guy to be my friend. It was like this weird, like, I hope that he likes me. Like, it was very strange.
yeah, the first time that I ever met him, I was at the stand and he came to my audition.
Nice.
And it was like,
No pressure.
yeah, no pressure, and I didn't know that was going to happen. But so Adele, the manager of the stand, walked by. I was standing at the bar having a whiskey, and then Dave Kimowitz, my manager, walked by, and he like looked at me like, you don't know who's behind me. And then the next guy was Jimmy, and he was like, hey man, how's it going? They told me to go and watch you. And I was like, I had the same experience
Yeah.
where I wasn't expecting to see Jimmy Fallon, and then my heart like stopped for like 3 seconds and then beat as fast as it could. And I was like, hi, like show, like you, hi, and
Yeah.
and then I call myself, I think as comedians, like we we calm ourselves down. We have to be able to do that on stage when we're freaking out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did whatever I do to do like a systems reset. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's cool to meet you. And
Yeah.
I was really cool with him. But at first I was a blubbering idiot.
Wait, so when you say your audition at the Stand, was it you mean the rehearsal before you went and did the Tonight Show?
No, so for a long time I couldn't get like I was sending sets and all that stuff, and I got booked on the Tonight Show twice by other bookers. So once I got booked on the Tonight Show by Ryan Williams, who now books Corden, I believe it is. Is that what he books?
I don't know.
know.
I don't know who books Corden, so maybe.
Yeah, he books Corden, but he booked Letterman when I was on it, and then he went over to the Tonight Show. He was like instantly, he's like, "You're on,"
Nice.
and then he was like, "You're in the queue," and then he got let go, or like he transferred over to Corden. So I was like, "Damn it! All right, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be on the Tonight Show." So then my managers now, they booked the Tonight Show, and before they were my managers, they were like, we want you to do it." So I was like, "Yeah, game on." Then they got fired, and I was like,
Oh,
"Shit,
no.
like, I was like, I guess I'm not gonna do the Tonight Show. And then so I'd been like sending videos to like anybody like close to him to be like,
Sure.
I think I'd be great on this show. And then they were like, well, you're not famous, and then you're not like alty or whatever, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna be on the show. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, my only chance is to get him to the show. So like I made a campaign basically like telling everybody around him like, hey, can you get him to the Stand? Like what happened for Bargatze?
Yeah, this is
And
great.
yeah, and then I must have said it out loud enough times that he showed up to the Stand, and I was like, oh my god, it worked! Like I can't believe that
Yeah, it's
actually
an
worked.
amazing story.
But
I totally thought it was a showcase where he was watching 8 people, but he
I
showed
thought
up
it was-
specifically for you.
I don't know, like somebody told me that I was one of the specific people that he wanted to watch, but Roy Wood Jr. was doing it the night after that. So I think he was there to see Roy. I
But it
don't
also
know.
sounds like you just like it was out there in the universe. Like if I
Yeah.
could just make this happen, which is a testament to you too, because so many people don't try.
Yeah.
They don't even try to submit for the Tonight Show, and they're like, "Oh, I've never been." It's like, well, you didn't submit, dum dum. You got it. Like that's how you get on. And then there's other people who submit and they just don't hear back, even though these bookers get so many submissions.
So
and they're like,
many.
well, I guess. I mean, I did submit like back in 2007. I never heard. And then there's some people who will submit over and over and over. And if they were to get an email that was like, "Hey, just so you know, like you're not on a TV show. You're not alty enough. We're not looking for white males." Then they would quit. Whereas you got all that and you still were like, no, if I could just get him to the Stand to see me,
Yeah.
who's going to tell him no?
Yeah.
He's Jimmy Fallon. It's his Tonight Show. So I think that's a huge testament to you, and people should hear that and learn from that.
Yeah, keep going. But like, I mean, I definitely have had other things where I've quit, but I don't. Maybe that
Yeah,
quality.
like high
in me-
school. I quit
We're
high
not saying
school.
you're not a quitter. We're just saying you didn't quit this.
I did not
that
quit that.
specific thing.
Yeah. I guess maybe the technical term for that is I'm annoying. Like I was like
I think it's great.
I will persist until it happens. But yeah, and then going to the Tonight Show, like he greeted me at the elevator and he was like,
I
hey,
love
babe,
that.
my name's John. I was like, oh my god, like, but it's so like. Did you feel nervous when you went and did it? We kind of talked in the kitchen
Yeah.
about that. Like you felt, because I felt like I had a full on panic attack. The
Oh,
first time
really?
that I
See,
had it.
what happens to me when I'm very, very nervous is I try to behave as if I'm not like if I can convince everyone around me I'm not nervous, then I'll convince myself.
Yeah.
But the problem is whenever I do that, I'm not thinking about the things I should be thinking about. So so I was in my green room literally going, everything's cool. It's going to be fine. You don't look too spray tanned, which is what I was really panicking about. And I was like,
Is
you're
this
out.
the first or second appearance?
First one.
The first
Okay.
one.
And I was like, okay, this girl you love is here. This guy that loves you, my buddy, friendship love is in the room, which I'm getting that moral support. My manager's there, who I love. They're all there, that's good. This all checks out. But I could also sense their nervousness for me. And then I was also thinking like, okay, so just act like it's cool. It's not a big deal. But then I was like, why am I not thinking about the jokes I'm supposed to be telling? That's what I should be focusing on is the jokes. So I removed myself from the room and I went over to where the old Conan stage used to be, which is it was like just an empty room at the time.
Same hallway.
And yeah, in the same hallway, just
That's
across the
where,
way.
Megan Kelly's at now, right?
Yeah, now there's a show there, but I went in there and it has the exact same dimensions. So I just pretended as if I was going through my set, and I ran it, no exaggeration, about 50 times.
Wow.
I just kept going through it, and I'd practice like where I would put my eyes. Because we don't rehearse comedy. You get on stage, you just do your stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I've never rehearsed stand-up comedy until that moment, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go through each gesture, each like where I'll put my eyes, because I look down when I do stand up generally, but for this they say keep your head up for the lights and all that. So anyways, once I did that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be money, because like I just ran through it so many times.
That is so smart to do that, because they have the rehearsal, the run through or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I was so nervous that I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell the jokes to the people. I did the same thing. Both times I've never told the.
Yeah, and Michael was like, "Are you sure other people do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, super confident, love it." Like I'm out. And
Well, I'm not gonna tell it to an empty room with like 12.
with
You
the
said
crew.
something jokey, but it wasn't from the set.
Yeah,
you
I
were
was just
riffing
doing
with
jokes.
Michael was trying to get him to do stuff, and he was making the jokes at the camera guys and stuff. I remember you getting laughs at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I guess that's good enough. I guess that counts.
I just wanted them to go, okay, he seems nice and
I
funny.
never
He's
saw the
fine.
stage. I only saw it through the monitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never walked in that room.
Going in there felt great. How small it is. Did you
Yeah,
the first time you went out there? Were you like, wow, this is really small?
it made me feel really comfortable because I did Letterman and that stage felt huge.
Right.
And when I did Letterman, I did the thing where I walked the perimeter of the stage. Like they call it like a zoo animal kind of a thing where you're just walking the perimeter to be like, this is my stage.
Yeah.
It's not yours, Letterman. And
That's amazing.
Isn't that that's how nervous
here's a
I was.
question. Do you feel, I mean, I'm so proud of myself now that I've done the Tonight Show just for that title. I just like the idea that it's the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get into a cab or I talk to my grandfather or someone who knows dick about our business, when I can say the Tonight Show, they go, oh, Tonight Show, it's
Yeah.
Johnny Carson. So that's why I'm so proud of it. You've done Letterman and the Tonight. That's huge.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to say I did the Letterman show. Like Letterman's over. It's the book is closed, and that's a very legendary stage. All my heroes, Norm
Yeah.
Macdonald, some of my favorite comedians. That's a very coveted title that you could say you've had both.
I want to get so legendary at stand up that I get to do stand up on Letterman's new show. Like that's
Yeah.
how big I want to get.
But
Have you seen
he's
that
not
show?
doing stand-up
Yeah.
spots.
He does
on
not
that.
appear like
That's
he
how
wants that show to
legendary-
last that long.
yeah,
That's
he-
how legendary he wants to be.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, I have to have him on here.
I have to have him on as a traditional
Yeah.
stand up guest.
Even if Carlin came back from death, Letterman would be like, I'm still just going to interview him, I think.
Yeah, I think Letterman just wants to sit in a comfy chair.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even shaved the beard.
No.
but that show is
Some of them, he's not even there. I don't know if you've listened to some of the interviews. It's like Letterman doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, where he asked a few questions in the Jay-Z interview where I was like, he didn't listen to what he just said
At
because he
all.
asked a
Yeah.
thing about what he just said.
He did a thing with Jerry Seinfeld recently, and it seemed like he would rather be anywhere else in the world.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was very
He
weird.
gets 5 episodes into his new show, and there's only 6 episodes. And then he's like, or I think Jerry was the 6th out of 6. So he was like, oh,
I don't
I'm
even know
gassed.
I don't even know if it was for his new show, was it? Or
It was for the new show,
Oh,
yeah.
it was. Okay.
was
Yeah, and I remember
really-
watching it and being like, Dave, you guys have a great rapport. You've known each other for like 30-something years.
That's why I showed you the video of them 3 years before that video, and they're very both present and with each other and playing, and none of that is present in his.
Because
new
Dave was
Netflix
on
show.
Comedians in Cars, and it was a good.
That was
episode.
great.
Yeah,
it's
I love
great.
that
But
episode.
no, it's just a testament to like their friendship in a way that like Dave can still be like agitated with him and then not be afraid to just be like, you're not listening, Jerry. Like he's just like it seemed like two grumpy men
Yeah.
having coffee together.
Could you imagine getting to that point of comfort where there are like 6 high def cameras on you and you're still like, yeah, I'm comfortable being grouchy right now. to
And that's
Jerry
how he is
Seinfeld.
now. He's like grouchy sometimes and then happy other times. Like he's like charming when he's interviewing Obama. And then on the next one, he's kind of like, all right.
Whatever.
Jay-Z, am I pronouncing that correctly? Like it's kind of like it was an interesting attitude, which I don't know. I like Letterman though.
But I mean, Letterman has spent years in front of a camera. I mean, he literally lived there at
Yeah.
that place and lived on camera for decades. I couldn't even imagine how, like, I bet you have to fight against being too comfortable
Yeah,
when you're in that position.
absolutely.
I mean, you and I have now done a decent amount of TV. We've been on camera for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And like, I'm finally now after like a decade and a half of being on camera, being like, oh, I know how to do this.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Yeah. It's still, it's tricky.
Yeah, but it wasn't
didn't
5 nights a week.
We didn't fin. So I guess the last question I was saying is, what are you more proud of? Or it's different?
I think that I'm more proud of the Tonight Show because I feel like it went better.
Okay.
My 3 appearances on there, I feel like it went really well. But Letterman, I was like really nervous, and my wife at the time was like, well, you should, if you're nervous, you should have a cup of warm coffee. And like, if you had coffee
Gives you
to
the
anxiety,
jitters.
yeah. So I was like, well, I better have 3 cups.
Great
Like,
advice, first wife.
yeah, I had like 3
That's why
cups.
she's out of here.
Yeah, she's out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then we're sitting up there in my dressing room, and I wasn't even completely dressed because nobody had come and said, hey, you're on and whatever. And finally, that Biff dude comes up with the headset on.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're on now. And I was like,
Oh, no.
I was like, I got to put on my pants. And I like threw on my pants and was like, and then the elevator was out. So I was running down the steps, like tucking in my shirt. And
it's a nightmare.
It was
not
a
a
Larry
great
Miller
state.
story.
yeah, it was like an actual nightmare. And I was like, this isn't happening. But then there's a part of us as comics, like when we're in New York, we're like running around.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like, we're like running into a club and being like, oh, what? I'm on. Cool.
You're on next. Yeah, I'll bring you
Yeah.
on.
So in a way, I was like, this is probably better than me walking down there slowly, standing there, feeling my heart pump.
Sure.
But I got down, and like the makeup lady that does the touch-ups, like the last looks or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm breathing really hard because I just ran while putting on pants. And she goes, why are you so nervous? She's like, don't be nervous for this. This is Letterman. And I was like, those are the
Yeah,
words.
exactly.
What an oxymoron.
The
You
first
hear
one
yourself?
contradicted the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I go, and I said out loud, like to her face, I go, those are the words that you don't say to people.
Right.
Like if somebody's nervous, you don't go, why are you so nervous? Don't be nervous.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You just
I
don't.
didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Now,
Yeah.
actually, though, it was kind of confident,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate. Like, she was super confident. Because if you
But
said
also
to someone,
stupid.
like if a relief pitcher's coming in a baseball game, you'd be like, don't be nervous. You're going to do great. Like, that's kind of what
She
she's
didn't
saying.
say that though.
Why are you so nervous? It was like
It's Letterman.
It was very. It's
Yeah.
Letterman. It was.
She works with them
very-
every day. It's like meeting Mickey Mouse at Disneyland. They're like, yeah, it's just another mouse. Come on, kids.
Yeah. What I needed was somebody to lie to me and be like, you look cool and confident. You don't look nervous at
Right, there
all.
you
Nobody
go.
can tell you're hyperventilating.
Oh, yeah. She's saying that she's witnessing a problem.
You're
Yeah.
the
Okay.
thing that when you walk out of the house, like that you don't want people to see, which is your anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I'm noticing it right away, is what she was saying to me, and I was like, oh god,
Oh, you look
okay.
like shit. You're sweating a lot.
Yeah, wow, you're terrible. And so I was like, okay. And then, you go behind the curtain and there's the guy whose job it is to hold the curtain
Right.
open. And then I'm like, all right, just breathe. And somebody had told me, they go, when you get out there, when you get onto your mark, like take a breath. And so when you watch the tape back, I get out there and I go,
He didn't say make the first joke your breath. Yeah, that's really great.
Like I sounded like Krusty the Clown when he gets off work. Like, that was, and then I did my first 3 minutes of my set in like a minute and a half because I was so.
Oh, yeah, just rattling through it.
I was just like so wound up. And then, I remember like when you watch the tape at the minute 1:37, I finally calmed down because I'm killing so hard.
Yeah.
And then from there on out, I loved it, and I didn't. Want to
Okay.
leave.
When you watch
Yeah.
the first minute or so, you're annoyed.
Well, yeah, I hate it. Like
Really?
even when somebody comes up to me after a show and they're like, "Hey, man, I saw your Letterman," I'm like,
Really?
That's the nightmare.
oh. But the Tonight shows, I feel really good about them, and
Yeah.
they were good.
And they're great.
Yeah, like actually the third one I didn't, but the first 2 that I did mid-afternoon on the day of, I had a huge panic attack, like shivering on the floor
Oh,
of my
no.
apartment, like how am I gonna do this? And then
What? Okay, so let's try to dissect that a little bit, just 'cause
Yeah.
I find that fascinating.
yeah,
It's obviously just panic because you're about to do something that's very big. So you
Yeah.
wanted to. There's a lot of expectations involved. What specifically can you pinpoint? will I remember the joke or will I slip on a word? Like what are you most worried about when you're panicking?
I think, all right.
And don't do it on our podcast, please.
The actual thing that I was worried about is I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
Like that sounds crazy, right? Like I'm gonna
That
get out
definitely
there,
sounds crazy.
and it's gonna mean so much to me that I'm out here that I'm just gonna cry.
Right.
Isn't
Drew
that-
Lynch did that and it got him a golden buzzer, I think.
Really?
True.
Didn't
yeah.
he cry?
Yeah, he did cry. He didn't cry till the golden buzzer. It
Oh,
was like
I
he was
see.
trying to hold it all in, and then when they
Oh, okay. Well, that's a
everything's
little
falling.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It
Not
was
your
well
standard
timed.
Tonight Show set where confetti falls and Howie Mandel hands you a ticket. Okay.
But I actually on the first one I did cry a little bit at the very end because
Really?
I said thank you. The crowd stood up, and then Jimmy was there, and he's like, "Do you know what's happening?" He's like, "You're getting a standing ovation on the Tonight Show right
That's
now."
amazing.
And the red light had gone off because he sent it to commercial, and I just turned to him and I go, "Dude, I'm gonna cry if you keep talking."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, everybody!" And
I was like, that's great.
And the
And
Roots
like-
start playing.
He's like a second moment.
yeah, exactly. And then like a little tear kind of started, and then he was like, come on. And then
I love that.
afterwards he's like, that was beautiful. You got emotional. He's like, that's what I wanted. He's like, you should feel the whole thing. And
That's great.
so it was like my worst fear. And then the second time, I don't know. I was like, I had already gone there. I had already cried. And I was like, don't cry
Really?
again. Yeah, like don't cry, you little bitch.
There's like a football coach inside of you somewhere every time.
Yeah, like I'm like my whole point of view in comedy is like it's okay to be sensitive and it's okay to feel your emotions
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And I'm talking to myself like, you little bitch, you're gonna
Don't you
cry
do
again.
this.
You're gonna cry in your dumb blue suit.
You're
aren't
going to
you?
embarrass us again by doing the thing that made you
You
famous.
can't return the suit if it's stained with tears.
That's amazing.
It's tailored and it has tears.
Well, so the reason I asked you, we started on this earlier, but when I first met you, you were with your first, now not your wife, I don't know what you
my
call
now not
ex-wife.
wife. That's her
your
official
now
title.
not wife.
Now not wife.
And you guys were together, and I got to hang out with you briefly in Vegas because we were both on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
And then on your last Tonight Show, which was great by the way, you referenced going through that breakup.
Yeah.
That's the breakup, right?
That's the breakup. Yeah.
Okay, so that and this third set wasn't that long ago.
yeah.
Does your now girlfriend be like, well, you've got to do those jokes. They're great jokes. Or does she think like, it's kind of weird that he's talking about.
Oh, well, my now girlfriend is a therapist. So she's like,
this is healthy.
yeah, she's like the best person in the world to have in my life. But she,
Oh, can I have her in my life?
yeah, she can be your therapist.
His life.
She can prescribe meds. That's like,
Oh my god, I need her.
Do you have
Yeah.
any bits about how like dating a therapist is great because she doesn't charge you for like the therapy?
no,
Oh, she
but-
charges him.
Yeah, it's in dinners. Taking her out to the Cheesecake Factory. But she, well, no, like I don't have any bits about that. Hold on. I gotta take a drink of my soda, my club soda.
Yeah, dude.
We wait.
We take
in
care of our
anticipation.
guests, man. Mountain
Wait.
Valley Soda Water. Not a sponsor yet, but
Not
They
yet.
should
He
be.
just gave him a shout out.
Hashtag
For free.
should be a
Mountain
sponsor.
Valley. But I don't have any bits about that. But I do have a bit about like, because I don't know if I'm allowed to tell it, but I'll just tell it. So like our job is pretty easy, right? Like
Yeah.
we go and we maybe bomb or we do well or we bomb whatever. Or like maybe we get heckled. That's the worst thing. She works in a psychiatric hospital. And so one day when we were first starting to date, I was like, "Oh, what's this going to be like dating a girl that works in a psych hospital?" And she's like, how was your night? You know, because she's in California and I was in New York, and I was like, I was like this dude, I had a new joke that I wanted to get to, and then this dude heckled me, and I didn't get to my new joke, and I was almost sounding like very childish, you know, like I didn't get to do my new joke,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
went home mad.
I have to wait till tomorrow to try the new
Yeah,
joke.
I have 3 shows tomorrow to try my new joke. I get to try it because of this bad man. Well, and I go, well, how was your day? And she goes, she's like, yeah, my day was the same, you know, pretty similar. She goes, this woman came in, she was like a 110-pound meth addict. And because she deals with like real bit, like the
Extreme.
meth problem was really bad. And she goes, and these two,
Never heard of meth problem being
It's a good way to put it.
yeah,
It's a
it's
good way
a
to put it.
mild meth. It's like
Yeah.
the Andre Agassi crystal meth problem where
Yeah.
you still get to win Wimbledon.
Dabbling.
Yeah. And so these 2 giant orderlies were like taking her in, and when they're first admitted, that's when they decide whether or not they're gonna like shoot them up with, you know, stuff that makes them sleepy for a couple days. you
Drug
know?
addicts love that shit. Extra drugs.
Oh, extra drugs. but they never like. Let's say that they're like a manic depressive, and they're in a manic phase and on meth. That's like the best feeling in the world. So like they don't want the drugs. Like they don't want that. So my girlfriend says to her, she goes, hey, she's like, I'm gonna need to sedate you. And this woman, she goes, if you sedate me, she goes, I'm gonna taekwondo these motherfuckers.
That's quite a threat.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah. And my girlfriend goes, she goes, my mistake was laughing. She's like, oh, haha, because these are like two giant, like 6'5"
Her
orderlies.
laughter was like challenge accepted.
Yeah. So this woman, she goes instantly. She goes, she must have been like a 2nd degree black belt in taekwondo. She goes, she instantly kicks this guy in the face. She goes, she was standing next to him and kicked him in the face. Done. Like this guy is just like ragdoll.
Oh man.
Done.
It's like a scene from Green Hornet.
Right on the button.
Yeah, right. Just like the exact spot that she needed to hit him, and he was just like she goes. He had a look on his face like I'm about to pass out or I'm about to be knocked out, and then he just like fell, and then she goes, and then she throat punches the other guy. He just falls. Like it was like the exact spot, like pressure point where he would just pass out. And then she goes, and then this girl just starts laughing and walking towards me. And she goes, and I just ran and I hid in the break room. And she's like, my actual thought was, should I sedate myself?
Oh my God.
Like, should I use this needle on myself right now? Cause I'm so like, she's like, my adrenaline was just freaking out. And I was like, yeah, that's like about the same as being heckled and not being able to do your jokes.
I thought she was going to say, I almost put the syringe in my arm because I was like, man, I'm so depressed that Pete didn't get to try that new joke tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, you're right, honey.
How long's her shifts at the psych ward?
Lately, she's been doing like 12-hour shifts because she's not only working, but she's doing her clinical rotations because she's finishing her master's. And so like she does way more than me in a day.
And you work 45 minutes a night.
45 minutes a night, maybe.
It's my favorite thing to throw in people's faces.
Maybe you have to do it twice on a night.
And it's
where
great,
there's
and we
two
love
shows.
it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I love it. Oh, that makes me laugh so hard. Well, Taekwondo goes into a nice next question. Do you know martial arts?
I know. Yeah, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. It's
So if you were there, you would have saved the day.
I would have. Well, I don't know if that woman was that trained and that skilled, she probably would have whooped my ass.
You think so?
Well, because
You're like a board.
I'm like a board. Yeah, she would have broken me like a board. Yeah, but I haven't trained since I was 19 years old, and so
okay.
like my speed's not there, my power's not there. Like if an average civilian, like if the average civilian, like wanted to fight me, I could probably fight them, But like back in New York,
your shirt says above average.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that.
This is
the average civilian.
Yeah, I'm above average. I'm above you. I'm so above you.
Wait, but you are a black belt. That's insane.
I'm a black belt, and like I remember we were outside of this outside of the stand in New York, and this crazy dude walked up to Derek Gaines and Monroe Martin, and he was like trying to pick a fight with them, and I just saw it, and my instinct was like, "We'll go break this up." So I walked up in between them, and it was like this like really mad, like red-haired, fiery Irish guy that like he had a bunch of tattoos, and he looked like he fights every day. Like, one of those guys that works construction, and if he goes to his job with a black eye, they're like,
yeah, he's got a shiner.
Yeah, like yeah, that's good. Like he's not trying to. He has nothing in his life where he doesn't need to fight.
Right.
And so I just walked up in between them because these, those dudes are like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And I walked up in between them, and I was like, I just go, hey, dude. I go, these are my friends. I was like, can you leave them alone? And he's like, what the fuck are you trying to do? And I go, dude, I'm a train killer. I'm like, really?
You don't look this or sound this.
Yeah. And I'm talking exactly like this. And I go, I'm really good at fighting. And like I kickboxed for years. I was the Midwest black belt champion for 3 years in a running. And I was like, I know that when you fight, either one person goes to jail or one person goes to the hospital. And he goes, you really think you could put me in the hospital? And I go, dude, I could hurt you so bad.
I'm pretty much Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Don't test me.
Yeah,
Is this in your act?
No, I haven't talked about it. Like,
it makes me so happy.
At my set that I'm about to do in Montreal, I have a bit about it that I'm about to do. But
well, I'll be at Montreal together. I'm going too.
All right. Are you doing a gala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be drinking and hanging out. Makes me happy.
This is what badasses that hurt people sound like. They go, yeah,
a gala.
Hooray! Yeah, a gala. Oh, it's our own gala.
Most baddies don't even know what a gala is. I don't think.
That Irish guy, he probably thinks that like a gala is a type of Guinness or something
yeah.
like that.
Isn't that an apple?
That one of those
Yeah.
bullshit beers.
Yeah. Yeah, damn it.
Queers drink. I don't drink galas.
Yeah. But anyway, so the guy just kind of starts laughing and he's like, all right. He's like, I'll leave your friends alone. And I was like, cool. I was like, that's cool. And then we walk back I just kind of walk back into the stand, and Monroe and Derek, they kind of chase after me and they're like, hey, what was that? They're like, what was that?
Right.
And I was like, I was a martial artist for a long time, and like I fought a lot in my life, and I was like, I just didn't want. I was like, that guy was about to punch you guys. It was going to be really bad. And I was like, he looked like he could handle himself. And they're like, do you really think you could have done that to him? And I'm like, probably not at this point, but like I would have. I would have had a good shot at hurting him. Here's what I would do at this point in my life, like being slow and undertrained. Like I would just hurt him really bad early. You know, like I'd kick a knee out, or like I'd break a rib, or
my God,
or like break his nose really fast.
How are you not nervous in that situation? You were talking to him so calm. If I even think something's about to go down in a bar,
Yeah, your anxiety is about.
I'm just
your
like,
job.
oh God, I'm going to have
Yeah.
to fight a human.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to try and hurt me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like that. Talk about fear. Like that is 100% of the time I'm afraid of that.
Physical stuff doesn't make me feel weird. I was a pro-am skateboarder growing up, and I skated vert, so it was like, so falling from 14 feet in the air, I was like, well, it's just gonna hurt, it's just gonna hurt. I was in Taekwondo. But,
Wait, what was your worst injury throughout all this?
oh God, I had a really bad concussion where I had to be med flighted, and I went blind for 4 days.
Good
That's a
night.
4 days.
Yeah, my brother, he would walk up to me with like a bag of Doritos, and he'd be like, because I had to only, like at that point, I could only have IV fluids in me, so I
I
couldn't
thought
eat.
the fight was about Doritos.
Oh no! But so I'm in the hospital. I'm blind, because I hit my occipital lobe that controls your sight, and so I like
Google that. Make sure that's accurate.
yeah, it's accurate.
Just kidding.
But check his references. But anyway, so my brother would come up and be like, "Hey man, do you want Doritos?" And then he'd like cup a fart in his hand and then like just push it into my face. So instead
Brothers are
of
the
Doritos,
best.
I would get
Why
a
is
fart.
your brother such a legend?
Yeah.
Why are we interviewing you right now? That is my favorite thing
Yeah.
I've ever. I'm just kidding.
Hey, what's your
Rob.
brother's phone number?
It's
Yeah, we gotta get him on the
608.
show.
No, I'm just kidding. He sounds like an asshole.
he
But
was
that's
an
just
asshole.
such a legendary move.
He's now like my best friend, but like he was a giant asshole growing up. But anyway, so yeah, and then the way that I became so good at skateboarding was because I was fearless. Because after that, my mom was like, "You have to wear a helmet, you have to wear pads," and so I wore like every pad on the planet, like even hip pads and stuff. So like
Really?
falling didn't hurt at all. Like and so
Nasty
Great. Those
pads.
pads work,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. So then I got sponsored by Alva and Vision, and I got to be like on MTV when I was 13.
That's
was crazy.
amazing.
It was so cool.
Because in your act, you make it sound like this Wisconsin guy that everyone would want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Which is true. You are from Wisconsin. Everyone does want to be your friend. You're very nice. You are a sweetheart. But nobody associates smiley sweetheart with like, oh, he could also rip out your esophagus and then like skateboard off
Roadhouse.
into the
Yeah.
LA River. Like,
He
you know
does
what I'm saying? Like,
concussions. He does things where he gets blind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Art Simpson isn't also Millhouse.
That's a great reference.
Awesome.
That's a third Simpsons reference on the show for those of you keeping score at home.
Yeah,
Ding.
it's,
Three.
Drinking game.
it shaped a big part of my life. All right? I love The
Simpsons drinking
Simpsons.
But yeah, but I mean, the way that I am on stage really is how I am socially. Like I really do feel that way. But yeah, physically, I'll kill you.
That is amazing. When also you were, weren't you like a water skier?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you would like go back and forth for the people to watch, right?
Yeah,
That's something like that?
Show skier.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a national champion and a world record in
There
show
it is.
skiing.
That's what I was trying to figure
Wow,
out.
crazy.
So we had a great conversation about you. There was like 5 or 6 of us, and we were all fans of yours, but we were at Moon Tower. But we're also your friends. We were just talking about your last appearance on The Tonight Show. We're just yucking it
Yeah.
up. We're like, he's the best guy, blah, blah, blah. I imagine we probably started that conversation because like, you know, Jeff, you remind me of, because I didn't know these guys that well until Moon Tower.
Was it Chad Daniels that told you?
Yeah, Chad Daniels,
Yeah.
Joe List.
Yeah.
It was just all of us, Ryan Hamilton, the New York
Yeah, please don't
guys.
know
Yeah.
them when you see them again.
And so they were just like, what is crazy about Pete is he's got all these secret things you would never know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for a long time in stand-up, because the way that I am on stage, like I never wanted people to know that other stuff, you know, because
Okay.
it almost makes it seem false, you know. Like how could you be a guy that has social anxiety and stuff like that if you could hurt somebody physically, but
Sure.
like that, you know, I don't know, like I don't even know how to explain that. Like
I get really nervous around people, and when they don't want to be my friend, I murder them.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the most
Yeah.
New York attitude to have.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
of all time.
Yeah, I guess
Hey, what you reading? And then they didn't answer me, so I snapped their neck.
yeah, like I could try to fight almost anybody, but I would be crushed if the person hurt my feelings.
Right.
That's basically who I am as a person. But you know, the person that I am on stage, you know, that's almost like my inner voice that I feel like I'm fighting against in everyday life. You know,
Okay.
like I'm, you know, one of the reasons why I moved to New York is so that I could be a little bit more, like at least 15% more of a dick in my real life, or be more assertive or whatever. But like me in real life wants to, you know, like be like, hey guys, I'm, you know, like sorry that my chair's lower than yours right now, or like, you know, like I feel apologetic about everything. Like I feel like if I go out to dinner with a bunch of people, I'm like, oh, I should probably pay. There's no reason why I should pay.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, I probably should.
It's just kindness.
And
yeah.
so like so the guy on stage is really the voice in my head that I'm going like, fuck you, you're not paying, just pay for your own thing. And like I'll be at a dinner where everybody splits it and everybody knows that they're gonna split it, and then when I actually split it and don't pay, I'm like, yeah man, like you're a badass.
Victory.
Like, yeah. Are you
I
gonna
feel
ride
like
home
that
on a
a lot.
motorcycle? Because you are a bad guy.
We have that in common.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wow, I really stuck up for myself. I didn't pay for everyone's dinner. Like I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like, wow, good for you know.
And
good
your-
for you.
your
You don't
friends
always
are-
have to pay. You
Your
know?
friends are like, of course you do. Like,
All my friends are like, you should pay.
yeah,
All my friends say that.
yeah, you should totally pay Jeff. You like, we have a friend in common, Nikki Glazer, and she's like one of my best friends. And like, whenever I tell her, she'll be like, "How was your day?" I'm like, "Good." You know, I went to dinner and I didn't pay, and she'll be like, "Pete, of course you didn't fucking pay. You shouldn't pay." Like, she'll get
Oh
really,
yeah, she'll get mad about it.
she'll
yeah.
get really irate. So one of the things that
Nikki is tough.
she's very tough. I wish I could have her toughness for a second.
I know.
You know?
It's a weird toughness.
It is a weird toughness.
When I just did her podcast, which I love her by the way, also
Yeah.
she's one of my favorite humans. I saw that you went to go watch her Tonight Show.
yeah,
Is that what you
or-
meant when you said you were nervous
or no,
for someone, or wasn't that one?
She came to watch mine, but I wasn't able to go watch hers.
Oh, I thought they
was
got
out
that
on the
backwards.
road. I know, boo.
Um,
So that's another thing. I felt terrible about it. I felt terrible.
Oh, really?
She came to mine and I didn't go.
well,
to
I
hers.
thought that I saw you at hers, but maybe was that an older one or never?
that was.
You've never
I
went
think
with
that was
her?
a post of her at mine, but
Oh,
I'm
I see.
not sure.
That
but
could be.
Maybe I took Ambien and photoshopped myself into her picture.
That could be too.
and then
Ambien does that
posted
to
it.
you.
Yeah. It made
Makes
me
you
really
do weird
racist
stuff,
too.
Yeah.
Well, but I was just being myself, like in the lobby, and just
Yeah.
like I did a few things for like the people while I was waiting for Nikki, like just chatting up. I love talking to people, so I'm like talking to the person that's behind the counter and the woman that was in line, and I talked to the girl at the thing because I was just waiting for Nikki,
Yeah.
killing time. And then when Nikki gets there, she's like, "Jesus, you like made friends with everyone," and I was like, "No, I'm just chatting." And then we get up to the thing, and the first thing she mentioned in the podcast was like, "Jeff like bought everyone coffee," and like, but like even her tone was like aggressive about how I was just being nice to strangers.
Did you buy them coffee though?
Yeah, but also like she'll find a way to verbalize it like I'm a moron for, or like that it's unusual to be nice to the people around you, which is such a
Yeah.
New York disposition.
Nikki does that stuff to me where she'll be like, why would you do that? And then she'll turn around and do the same thing to other
Right.
people where she'll buy everybody coffee or do whatever. And I'm like, wait, so is it okay if you do it, but not when I do it? And she's like, Pete, I'm fighting against the same thing.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
she's like, that's why I'm saying it to you is because I'm trying to tell myself not to do it. So
That's what I
tell-
love about her.
Yeah.
And that's where she gets her humor from, is those kind of things. But like she did like this whole rant about rape. Like she was like teasing this girl about rape, like on her show. It was on the show.
Yeah.
And like I just was yes-anding it and going along with it, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe we're getting away with these kind of jokes. And then I made fun of therapy. I go, if New York's so great, why does everyone have a therapist, right? Her and the two dudes like on the screen like lost their minds. And I was like, wait a minute. So we can joke about rape for 14 minutes, but I
Yeah.
can't make a dig at therapy. And she was like, you're right. I don't know why. Like she
Yeah.
immediately submitted like, yeah, I don't know why we just turned on you so fast. Like,
It's funny that you say that because I could see that exact thing happening.
oh, they
where,
went crazy.
if it would have been rape therapy, then it would have been fine.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
a terrible joke to make. But
No, they wouldn't have liked that either because
yeah, they would.
they're very passionate about therapy.
Yeah. I mean, I go to therapy. I'm very passionate about it. Like it's helped me a lot in my life. But
Does your wife feel like you're cheating on, or
no, the girlfriend.
your girlfriend feel
Yeah.
like you're cheating on her when you go to a different therapist?
No, because it's a guy. I think.
Okay.
If I went to
But
a
it's
female
therapist
therapist, she might-
cheating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, that's like that Chris Rock joke about like his wife caught him watching porn, and she's like, "Is that what you like? You like other women?" And then he goes, and then I saw her reading an Us Weekly, and he goes, "Is that what you like? Other celebrities? You just like you like to look at Channing Tatum? Is he better than me?"
That's a great
But
bit.
that's kind of like the therapy thing. that
Yeah,
we're
for
talking
sure.
about.
Well, but like
Yeah.
that, she must have asked you, like, does she just for like a professional study? Like, well, what is he asking you about? Like, what, like, or does she not give a shit?
I actually tell her about my therapy sessions because I'm really transparent with her. Like,
Yeah.
So you got 2 therapy sessions happening.
basically,
You got
yeah.
therapy on your therapy.
Yeah, therapy on the therapist, and then yeah, but she like it's really helped me to have her voice too, and like but yeah, she came to this last Tonight Show, and I think that's why I didn't have a panic attack because
Really?
I woke up and she was like, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, "I think I'm gonna have a panic attack," and she's like, "All right, let's meditate."
Nice.
And
Did
she's
she have
like-
you sedated? Is that why?
Yeah, she just like
I think I need to sedate you.
she brought me an apple juice, and I'm like, "Why does this taste weird?" And she's like, "You're cool.
You're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be
Everything's
great.
cool."
Why are you nervous? It's just
Put
the
some
Tonight
joke
Show.
juice in there.
Yeah. But she really calmed me down, and she had me meditate twice that day. And
Nice.
she's like, you need to eat a lot of protein because that evens out the cortisol.
Oh my god.
And then-
Wait, how did you meet
Man.
this girl?
I met her on an airplane flying to see Nikki Glazer.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So Nikki and I are famous for hating each other. Like
If I go back on Twitter, will I find you guys bickering back and forth?
We never did it publicly. Like
Okay.
it was like a silent Cold War of hatred for 11 years.
But why?
Because-
I can't imagine. I love both of you so much. I can't imagine this being a thing.
This adds to the mystery of me not being the nice guy or whatever. But so when she was in college, I was like a feature act out on the road. I was working at the Kansas City Improv, and then she came in to do guest sets. And like when she walked in the room, I was like, oh god, like
just
oh.
right away.
I
Didn't
was
like her
I was-
face. Just
I was
Nikki
like,
Glazer's
Yeah,
here.
Nikki Glazer. I was like, oh god, we're like this is gonna happen, and I like her a lot, and so we hung out that week, and then we hooked up. I was at the
Oh.
time.
So
I
you
was-
liked her first.
I liked her a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, like so I really liked her and felt a huge connection. And then she did her guest set, and she was like, "Do you want to go grab a beer?" So we grab a beer. Like the chemistry's happening. At the time, I'm dating my now ex-wife. But it's like the beginning, that gray area where
yeah.
like I think stuff was happening with her ex-boyfriend. Like
You don't go all in. You don't just stop talking to everybody you know
Yeah.
because you like someone else.
Yeah, you can't just do that, right? So I was like, yeah, this kind of fits in the gray area. So Nikki and I like fall in love that week. It was like crazy, like sparks flew. On the last night, we said goodbye to each other, and I was like legitimately sad to say goodbye to her, And then she calls me like in the middle of the night. I was driving back to the airport, because I had to go do a college or something. She goes, "If you come to my apartment right now on the KU campus," she's like, "I'll have sex with you," because we hadn't had sex yet. And
What, you fell in love, but you didn't have sex? This is also foreign to me.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like-
okay.
like,
so that's great.
we had like made out, and she had like from the first night on, she had like slept in my hotel room, and like it just it was like she felt like somebody that had been in my life forever.
Yeah.
Like it was weird. It was almost weird. And so like when I went to her place, we had sex.
Wait, so when you got that message, you were on your way to the airport?
I was on my way to the airport because I was just gonna like sleep in my car, and
Oh,
like,
and you're like, forget it.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go have sex with Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer's naked body and a bed?
Yeah. And this was before she had done Last Comic Standing. This was
Okay.
before she's Nikki Glazer. She's
Yeah,
a
but
college
it's a girl
student.
you liked, I meant.
Yeah, she's a college student who was super hot and really talented, and yeah, so I go to her place. We have sex. Famously, I was the first guy to ever make her have an orgasm. She talks about this.
Oh, now we're
it's all-
talking.
yeah,
This is why you're telling the story. I
Yeah.
get it.
yeah.
Okay.
Locker room talk.
No, I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then I leave, and then her and I, we stay in touch, and we're so close, and like it's almost like an emotional affair behind the back of this girl that I'm also in love with.
Sure.
So it's like The Bachelor in real life, right? Like
You're giving out orgasms instead of
yeah,
roses.
giving out orgasms, like in love with two women at once. And then finally I was like, I need to make a decision. So my now ex-wife, she takes me out to dinner.
Wait. So now that you know that you divorced that lady, do you regret that decision?
A little bit, but
All right.
but we know Nikki. Like Nikki was like, I was the second guy she had sex with. Like Nikki needed to go and see the world.
Also,
and
hindsight,
you're
you're
right.
22. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't be the guy you are now if you wouldn't have gone through
all
that
of it.
relationship and the first marriage. And like, yeah, so it's tricky.
No, yeah, you're right. And the way Nikki's path ended up going,
Yeah,
who's to say that would have worked out incredibly?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I think that Nikki and I would have ended up getting married and divorced really early, and she could have possibly hated me even more. Like, I think that that's what would have happened.
Yeah.
But
Wait, so she was mad at you just because you picked a different girl?
Well, it was kind of the way that I did it.
Okay. Yeah, the way you see your
Yeah.
face changed, which is like,
Oh,
all
the
right,
fucking killer.
here's some
comes out.
responsibility.
Yeah, so
You blackmailed her.
my now ex took me out to dinner in Little Italy, and she was like, "Hey, I know about Nikki Glazer," and I was like, "How?" And she's like, "I went through your phone," but she's like, "I know."
Jesus.
She's like, and I was like, "Okay."
You married this woman?
These
Yeah.
ladies.
I was like, fair enough. You went through my phone, whatever. So, so she's like, I don't want to know about it. She's like, just choose. She's.
I don't want to know about it, but I'm gonna go through.
Actually, I respect that. She's like, I
Yeah.
found out, but I don't want, I like either end it or
End it or whatever.
end this. Yeah.
And so I called up Nikki the next day, and I was like, Nikki was like, I have so much to tell you, and I was like, I got to talk to you.
Oh,
and
no.
I have so much to tell you. Like, oh, wait till you have what I had to tell you.
yeah, and it turns out
You go first.
yeah, so I went first, and it turns out that because she did Last Comic Standing the night before, and then she claims that I knew. I swear I didn't know. I did not know it was her birthday.
Oh, no.
It was
Oh,
Nikki's fucking 22nd birthday. It was her birthday, and I was like, yeah, I made a decision. I'm going with this one, and like I was like, so you and I just need to be friends, and she's like, we're not going to be friends, and you're going to regret this. And she was like, the only way that this is working out with her is that you have me for emotional support, and your relationship's going to crumble. And mark my words, this will not.
Wow.
last." And it was like
She went nuclear.
she went nuclear. She went nuclear, and she was right about everything. Like she was
An emotional black belt.
an emotional black belt.
Never,
Totally.
boy. That's-
Yeah, she got a trophy that day. and then the Cold War began because the one thing that my now ex asked me for was she's like, just don't talk to her. And so-
Absolutely. Yeah, which is respectful.
yeah. So in being respectful to my now ex, I was very disrespectful to Nikki, and then I never made things right.
Right.
So
Girls never see that theory. There was like, oh God, like you can have friends. And like some girls aren't cool with that. That you're just friends with girls you had sex with before, like,
Yeah.
or girls you had emotions for, like, and then they're like, well, then you're with the wrong chick. She's like, it's not that simple. She has other great qualities. I just can't.
Well, yeah. Where do you set the
complete-
boundaries? The boundaries have to now
Exactly.
be completely moved.
I
and
also
adjusted.
don't want you hanging out with some dude who made you orgasm once that you had all these feelings for that you had to choose between. Like, I'd like it if you guys didn't kick it in text also.
Yeah.
Someone you didn't keep
Kick it
referring
in
to as a hot
private.
college
Yeah.
chick.
Oh
Yeah.
God, they're just friends. You're like, no.
Yeah, so then the Cold War began, and like I remember I ran into Nikki at the UCB, and it was like really cold, and so I ran into her one time, and we like hugged for some reason, and then after that we didn't talk for a while, and then at one point we had to share the same makeup room at 345 Hudson at the Viacom Studios. And
What show was that?
How'd that
It was when I was doing Best Week Ever, and she was doing Nikki and Sarah, and it was like promos. And I was like, "Hey, Nikki," and she was like, "Hey," but like the subtext and the energy in the room, like when she left, my assistant goes, "What the fuck was that?"
Oh yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"What was that?" She's like, "That was the worst energy I've ever felt between two people." And I was like, "Oh, it's."
I made her orgasm. She's
Yeah.
like,
You know how that goes.
Yeah, I was like, I broke her heart 8 years ago. So then when I got a divorce, I wrote her a letter. I was like, hey,
that's nice.
I'll write her a letter. And then she wrote me back and was like, hey, I don't want to make up, but we're cool. Like, consider this closure. And then a year later, she emailed me and she's like, yeah, I think we should talk. And I was like, oh, thank God.
She's like, I grew up a little.
I grew up a little. So we got together. We both had a show at the Stand. I didn't even realize it was on her birthday.
Oh god,
So-
the
The
anniversary of
yeah.
the
Of the thing.
Of the heartbreak.
So we sit down at the table and we like kind of hold hands and talk and like we really talk it out. Like I think I cried a little bit. Like I don't think she did.
That's
No,
on
that
brand.
sounds like both of you.
No, that's
Yeah.
on brand for both.
yeah, very on brand. And so so then and then I had a girlfriend at the time, so I was like, well, we can't really be friends, but like let's be cool. So then her and I kind of started talking like a little bit, and then she was like, we need to call this off because she was like I don't want to be like a girl that's saved as a different name in your phone, even though like nothing's going on,
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's not cool.
Was she a different name in your phone?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What was the name?
It was my friend Josh Wade. I had her saved as Josh Wade. And so now whenever my friend Josh Wade texts me, I'm like, oh, Nikki. Like,
Yeah.
like
And you're like, oh shit, this
Yeah.
guy.
It's just Josh.
yeah, I get really
Poor
happy.
Josh
Damn you,
Wade.
Josh.
Yeah, poor Josh Wade. And yeah.
What if Josh Wade gets conflicted? He's like, I want to suck your dick. You're like, wait a minute.
He's
Exactly.
like, wait,
Josh?
what? Yeah.
I'm sending nudes right
Well, I don't know
now.
how many times you sent me some late night text. I'm conflicted, Pete.
I need closure.
Josh Wade needs closure.
Yeah.
But
He-
you guys
he was-
are now best friends, though.
Yeah, so we so she goes, call me when you break up with that girl, because she's like, you're going to. So that girl
I love her.
Yeah.
So Nikki Glazer.
So Nikki Glazer. So that girl dumps me one night, and like her and I, that girl and I, we'd broken up like 16 times, and I think that girl thought that it was like, oh, this is another breakup. But I was like, I'm taking you up on this. And then that night I called Nikki, and
This
I
is
was
my
like,
favorite, by the way.
yeah, yeah. So I called Nikki. I called Josh. Basically, I dialed Josh. on my
Josh
phone.
Wade.
Josh
What
Wade.
up, bro?
Yeah, what up, bro?
Oh, wrong. I'll call you later.
Yeah. So I'm in this hotel on my college tour in Iowa, and I call Nikki, and I like just start crying for some reason. I was like, I just went through a breakup. Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of crying that I've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the Tonight Show.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
then
pattern.
on the Tonight Show. So Nikki goes, she's like, "Where are you? I'll fly to you."
Whoa.
She was like, "I'll fly to see you." And I was like, "I'm in Iowa," and she's like, "All right, I'm not going.
I'll go any other place.
She's like, "If you're in Nashville, New York, Miami, I would have gone there." So the next weekend, she was like, "Well," she's like, "I think that we should." She's like, "I think that we." She's like, "You're finally single. I'm finally single. We need to like help each other out." She's like, "We should totally fuck." So she goes, "You should fly to LA and we'll
She's
hang
a
out."
legend.
She's a legend.
Greatest human ever.
So I was like, "All right, let's get American Airlines involved." And so I went on my computer, I booked a flight, and then I get on the flight to go see her, and I sit down next to my now girlfriend.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Yikes.
So when
Yeah.
you said you were flying to go
You
see Nikki,
codependent
you were going to go
motherfucker.
have sex with
Oh, with Nikki, yeah.
Aaron. Just shot
What
at
did he
her.
say? What-
He goes, "You codependent motherfucker."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can't
That's
you sit next to a person without bringing your next 8 years of life involved into this?
look. He can't be in a relationship, and if I make eye contact, I'm like, I guess we're in love.
Yeah, and then you convince her of it like some
Yeah,
kind
we're-
of snake.
We're all
Yeah.
so very different.
but like it really was like a cosmic connection between this girl and I, and we had the
Wait. I have an inappropriate question.
yeah.
Did you end up going through with it with Nikki, or when by the time you landed, you were like, "Fuck, I have to tell Nikki now that we're not."
No,
fucking?"
because that's just a girl he met on the plane
Well, I fully intended on
at the time.
Yeah, like when I
I,
talked to him,
I know what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, when I was talking to my now girlfriend on the plane, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going there. I'm gonna hook up with this girl." I told her the whole
Oh,
story.
you
that I just
told her all that. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
It was so
dudes.
stupid that I told her that, and then even dumber, when I landed, I was like, "Nikki, I think I met somebody." I was like, and Nikki was like, "Oh God," she's like, "Show me a picture of her." So I showed her the Instagram. And Nikki goes, she's like, "Oh my God, I think you're gonna marry this girl." And I was like, "You're messing with me." She's like, "No, I have like this weird feeling that that's the girl you're gonna marry."
You're kidding
Yeah.
me.
And I go, "Why?" And
She's
she
like
goes,
Nostradamus.
"Yeah." And she goes, "This girl's really good for you." And she's like, "You're gonna marry her." And she
Are we
goes,
looking at her Instagram?
"Yeah." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "Well, for starters, you both have bird faces." and like you both look
How
alike. And she
dare
goes,
her.
couples always marry each other that look alike. And because it's like a narcissism thing where you go, you're so beautiful, you look like me. And so she's telling me all this, and she's like, also, I just get a weird feeling about this. So I was like, whatever, we're still gonna hook up.
Right.
So we go to my hotel room.
That statistic doesn't work for like interracial marriages very well.
No, yeah, you look exactly that. Yeah, they're doomed. They're doomed.
They'll never marry. It'll never last.
Only because they don't look exactly like each other. But so we go to my hotel room, and like we're like, maybe, because we're kind of nervous to hook up, so we're like, maybe if we add marijuana to it,
Nice.
that'll help.
Smart.
Does not help. Marijuana is the opposite of whiskey.
I just like that theory. I'm nervous.
It just made us so paranoid, and like all I could think is like, her tongue's gonna be in my mouth. We hated each other. What is this? And so we just kind of talked it out. And she's like, do you want to just go to sleep? Like, let's just go to sleep. So she has like a sleep mask and like noise canceling headphones that she sleeps with. And like I have a CPAP machine. So we went to sleep with each other.
She has to pretend she's on a plane, and you have to pretend you're in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I'm destroying the Death Star. She so then we woke up the next day, and we like ate, and we hung out all weekend, and we just didn't hook up. And then from that, like we just became best friends.
I love that.
And then I kept in touch. I dated a lot and like had a lot of sex for 6 months, and then I finally went on my first sex,
absolutely.
sex boning.
This guy's never fist bumped a normal thing in
Yeah.
his life.
And then we finally I was performing at Vanderbilt, where she's getting her master's from.
Nice.
Yeah,
Anchors down.
Anchors down.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
for Nate.
We do that for Nate Bargatze every time someone mentions it.
Anchor down.
You know?
Isn't it true? Did he not even go there? Isn't
Nope,
that part
he
of
didn't
never
go
went
there.
Just a huge fan.
Big fan.
Well, it's like, I guess in the South, you treat colleges the way like I would treat a pro team.
Oh,
So it's kind of like you can pick, like even when you're very young, you know, you're like,
Also,
oh,
in
I'd
his
love-
defense, his grandfather was like the head coach of the football team when he was a kid.
Right. And also his
Oh.
whole family rooted for him. Like it's
So
a big deal. So
he
yeah.
comes from a Vanderbilt family. None of them went to the college. And if you watch his first Tonight Show, after every joke lands, he does the Vandy sign like at the camera.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
that is amazing. That's because I just saw him doing stuff for Vanderbilt's social media.
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
That's so funny that he never went there. That is.
But he's also wearing them down, because I think at first they were like, all right, thanks. Like, and then now like he's such a great comedian and so famous that they're like, man, we'd love to have you do. He's worn them down.
He's totally gonna get an honorary doctorate.
Oh,
he's gonna
man.
Get, he's
Oh,
gonna.
How great would that
That
be?
would be the biggest thing in his whole life.
He's gonna. That's. I think we should.
More than him having a kid.
Yeah, we should put that into the universe.
Yeah, you just did. I
Gonna
love
get a
it.
doctorate.
Honorary doctorate.
Wait, so finish it. We got off on a Vanderbilt thing.
So yeah, so I went to do a show at Vanderbilt, and my now girlfriend was there, and like as soon as she walked in the room, it was that same energy, and I was like, oh my god, like I think Nikki's right. And the whole time that I was single, I didn't really like anybody that I was dating, and Nikki kept going, what about Plain Girl? What about Plain Girl? Like you know, like Plain Girl, you really liked her. I was like, yeah, whatever. So I went to Nashville thinking like I'm not gonna really like her, you know, whatever. And as soon as she walked in the room, it was just like it was like, wow, she's the one.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, and then we hung out that night, didn't hook up, you know, like stayed in touch. But like after just hanging out with her that first night, I literally called all the girls that I was having sex with and like canceled my sex with them.
You're
like,
kidding.
I was like, I met somebody. I don't want to do
I need
this
to pause
anymore.
this membership.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like and now Nikki and my new girl, they're like super good friends. Like they've been texting.
You're kidding.
Yes.
While we're on air.
Yeah, while we're on air, they're texting like with themselves and each other and whatever because they're planning dinner.
Oh
Like,
my
they're-
God,
we're
I
all
love
gonna
that.
We're all gonna have dinner together.
I love that.
Oh, after
Which
this,
is-
you want to have dinner with them?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Which is really cool.
I love that. That makes me so happy. That's a great story.
Yeah. So this badass.
You are a badass.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting is I just remembered I started to get a little smirk, which if you're a patron, you might noticed. When you were talking about how you gave Nikki her first orgasm,
Yeah.
it all come flooding back to me when we were at Moon Tower. A 10% of that conversation of us gushing about how much we like you on and off stage, there was a big percentage of the conversation that was about how big your dick was. that was legitimately, and they were like, we were watching him on stage. We're like, are those special pants?
Oh, Pete.
Does Pete have big dick pants or some sort of like underwear that gives him like a lift? It's like a push-up dick underwear. Like, and we were all laughing very hard like at the idea of this. And then I mistakenly later Googled like, do they have pants that like makes your penis, like shows it off? And that sent me to the worst websites in the world.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
ever look at those. Like,
Don't look at the big dick push-up underwear.
Yeah, well, because
They're
those
pushing out.
those sites, which they do exist, are they know their demographic is flamboyantly gay pride, customers.
Wet
And-
in the mouth gentlemen.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that was we all
licking their chops.
We were all talking about that.
So how much does
I
it
have a
weigh?
decent dick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a question.
I have.
It was just really funny that we were like at literally a nice little cafe breakfast.
Yeah.
In Austin, Texas, before like 10 a.m. and we're all just like, yeah, I heard he's got a huge dick too. Yeah, you heard
Talking
that?
about
Yeah.
Pete's dick. Yeah, I
Bigger than the breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
I have a decent dick. The first time, like, I mean, I don't like. I mean, I've watched porn and I go
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a good dick. Like, I think my dick is like that dick.
Yeah, you're like,
A
we
little
have
bit.
similar dicks, me and this porn star.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem weird. Those are the only dicks I've seen.
Yeah, like there's other dicks that you see in porn where you go, that's way bigger than mine, and then
Yeah.
there's the other ones where you
Never
go,
had that.
that's on par. But like the first time that I actually thought like maybe I have a decent dick was I did that documentary with Tom Segura and Chad Daniels where we went to Asia and I was on stage and then Segura tweeted out like Pete Lee has a big dick and he just like it was pretty zoomed in on just this area and
We knew which area.
yeah and it was like 4,000 faves and like a lot of retweets and messages and people direct messaging and people being like, you got a great dick, man. There's no way you don't have a nice hog. And this was like almost by the time I got off stage. So like I checked my phone. I was like, what is that? What?
Why is my phone blowing up?
Yeah. And Tom was like, you got a
Talk
nice
about
dick.
heat.
Yeah, you got a nice dick. And so like I remember at the time I was with my now ex-wife. I was like, do I have a nice dick? And she's like, yeah. She's like, but I don't tell you because like you can't know that. And I'm
No, you're like, I absolutely want to know that.
I'm like, that should be what you say in bed. Like, your dick is so
So
great.
then you were like, I want a divorce.
yeah, I want.
I don't trust it when it's in bed because I think that's we have
Yeah,
to
just-
say
just
these
a
things.
pep
Yeah.
rally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, there are bigger dicks, but like, I don't know. Like, I think I have a dynamic dick because like sometimes like when I go out for a run and I come home, my dick is really small because like when you're exercising. You don't have like full loose dick. You know?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's kind
One of
of.
those Swiss Army dicks.
yeah, like it like elephant
the
skins up
abilities.
into a smaller dick.
You're
And,
gonna have to. Aaron doesn't work out. He's not
yeah.
gonna know what you're talking about.
His
What kind
dick
of
is full size
nesting
all the
dick do you
time.
have? That's right.
Yeah,
Aaron's fully hard even when he works.
he's got
All
that
the
couch
blood
dick.
is there right now.
Couch dick.
He's got that couch dick.
Well,
But so one of my favorite things to do at my apartment when my girlfriend's there, I'll get home from a run and like when my dick is real small, I'll be like, look at my small dick. And it's like real
Really?
fun for me. And she's like, it's only fun for you because your dick is so decent the other times.
right.
And-
Yeah, it's fun because it's like wearing a Halloween mask of like a very ugly person. Like,
Yeah.
look, I'm an ugly old person. And like ugly old people are like, that's real cute.
Yeah, that's really
Real cute that you're patronizing
We have trouble with
growing
things.
old and having loose face skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to put on nice looking masks in the bedroom
Yeah.
so my wife.
Yeah, exactly. They have to turn the lights all the way off.
I should start a charity. That will be my Hollywood charity is a fundraiser for guys that don't have decent dicks.
Yeah.
Oh, we know a guy.
Well, I
We
don't
know
even think, but I don't even think enough money would do the trick. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the guys with
What do you
horrible.
do? What
yeah,
do
they
you do?
probably
If
have
Hollywood
a
has
lot
taught
of
me
money.
anything, enough money will do the trick.
What do you do?
actually.
I think that's what it is. Like you get a cool car. Like it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything for your dick. You just get a really cool
Yeah.
car
Sounds about right.
and like a nice watch. Or
It seems to
something.
work out though. There might already be a fund for this because I
Yeah,
see a lot
Special
of
watch, and you go down the coffee shop like, oh, you too. All right.
Mhm.
tiny dick dudes.
Yeah, we'll fund a site so that you can link up. Tiny dick dudes can link up with girls with shallow vaginas. You
Oh,
know?
that's called MySpace.
it's
Yeah.
just still.
Also, is that a
MySpace.
thing? A shallow vagina?
Yeah, I've encountered it. Where
really?
like you.
Yeah, you have.
You can't.
Hairy hog over here.
Yeah. Well, this is a weird way to end the
That's- yeah,
podcast.
that's- we got to get out of here.
But I like it. I like that we just go where the podcast leads us.
Hey,
Yeah.
We should have led with your dick. Okay, that was a bad one.
No, I realized I realized what time it was and that I hadn't responded to my girlfriend or Nikki, and I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble with both women in my life.
Yeah, both the special women of your life.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
You'll be fine. What you want to plug anything while you're here, brother?
Oh, I'm at the. Is this going out this week?
Yep.
I'm at the Cellar in Vegas, the 4th through the 8th.
Nice.
So
See,
come
I
on.
heard. So Estes like, send me your avails. We want you there. We want you there. Then I talked to Gad, and Gad was like, yeah, I think it's closing actually, because some kind of crazy thing happened.
It closed for like 2 weeks because they got into a dispute with. It was some money thing.
okay, but now it's back.
It's back and it's
Back.
awesome.
And it's great.
It's really great.
You're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. The 4th, July 4th through the 8th. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Peatly.
Nice.
It's just my name 3 times.
Triple.
Triple. On Twitter, I'm Peatly Tweets. It's like a moped horn. It's like Peatly Tweets. If you're 14 and you want to follow me on Snapchat, it's Peatly Snap. I'm also on your mom.
No, you're not.
That was fun.
He is on mine.
Yeah.
Aaron's mate.
I'm on Aaron's mom. I'm totally on Aaron's mom. But yeah, I think those are my plugs.
Cool. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for doing this. Aaron, where you at? What are you doing this week, bub?
My next show is at Flappers on June 12th. Yoo-hoo Room.
June
Ooh.
12th. That's a long time from now.
I'm sorry,
Ooh.
July 12th.
There you go.
I'm going
Thank
to
you
be
for
at the
getting me.
Pittsburgh Improv this weekend. Come see me. I've never been to Pittsburgh, so I'm very excited. Also, if you can't make it to the shows, I'm going to be at PNC Park where the Pittsburgh Pirates play on Sunday. So come say hi to me there. If you can find me, I'll give you a hug, buy you a beer. Tony, you got anything to plug, bud?
Nope.
Oh, you should plug my Instagram, Tony.
Nope.
That's
All right.
it. We love you
good.
guys. Follow Pete Lee. Big thanks for being here, brother. You're the greatest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I love
This
you,
is
brother.
so fun.
Friendship.
How great was that episode? Pete Lee, thanks for coming to the Octagon. That's what I'm calling my house now, the Octagon. Last week I called it Parts Unknown. This week I called it the Octagon. It was really fun having him on. Man, we got some juicy Nikki Glazer stories and some juicy private part talk. I know one guy named Kenny Lane on Twitter who's really going to enjoy this episode because he's a fan of mine, he's a fan of Pete's, and we're talking about Pete's wiener. So it's going to be a huge success with my boy Kenny. Respect. Love you, buddy. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, patrons. Catch us next week. We're excited to come back.